Good afternoon, Dr. Mark, Cedar Springs Chiropractic. This week I'm going to share in my Restore to More Minute a little nutrition advice, and we were talking about brain health this month. How do we keep our brain healthy into our old age? The biggest factor that I have read contributes to not just brain problems but overall health problems is out of control insulin management in our body. And what that means is that people are consuming far too many simple carbohydrates. And the most dangerous forms of simple carbohydrates are sugar and wheat, which again, wheat immediately turns into sugar the minute it hits your tongue. And so there's three ways that I just want to share. Sometimes when people understand why things are bad, it just makes it a little better to not eat those things. So number one, sugar floating around in your blood is analogous almost to shards of glass. It has very damaging effects. And one of the biggest effects it has is called glycation, where literally that sugar molecule binds to other proteins and fats. In fact, one of the biggest tests you will get for diabetes is your A1C, which is really how many glucose molecules have stuck to hemoglobin. And that's going to be a 3-month measure of your blood sugar. So number one is that when we have unregulated sugar floating around in our blood, it's very bad. In fact, these glycated products are the number one things they find in people's brains who have Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases. So we want to stay away from sugar because it can mess up our insulin levels and cause many diseases. The second one is wheat. Now, many of us have heard that wheat has a very potentially dangerous protein called gluten. And so glutenin and gliadin and many others molecules found in wheat can be very inflammatory for those people who are sensitive. And what again those molecules do is they cause a response in your body, an inflammatory response. Your body creates antigens and antibodies, and this can have an effect on the brain. So again, the second thing we want to really be aware of is wheat. And lastly, the third thing is that obviously out of control insulin with too much sugar and wheat will raise our body mass index, and a higher BMI has definitely been connected to not as healthy as a brain. So it's great to know how bad things are, but what really helps is some little tips on how to not eat those things. So for myself, again, back in 2002, I was about 40 pounds heavier because I was very addicted to wheat and sugar. But these are three things that really helped me. Number one is consider making vacation meals every week where you actually have whatever you want, so that for 90% of the time you're eating healthy, but maybe 1 or 2 meals per week you cheat, and that's okay. Number two, consider having your carbohydrates early in the day. So if you're eating bad foods that do have sugar and wheat, have them early in the day. Your body will burn those out of your body so that they're not as damaging and they're not there sitting there through the nighttime. So have your carbs early in the day for breakfast or lunch. And lastly, when you're eating and you have a craving for something sweet, consider switching to one of my favorite snacks, 90% dark chocolate. It has only about 2 grams of carb per 3 squares. And that's going to satisfy that sweetness, but it's also going to be loaded with good quality fats and other things. So instead of eating carbs, try to add more fat and protein, obviously good fats and good proteins to your diet to reduce your blood sugar levels. I'm Dr. Mark. Have a great day.